Hello and welcome to another video from Athariel Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at a British light tank. Now for those of you that will have watched my streams, you'll know a number of things. One, I am a terrible light tank player. Two, I don't even enjoy playing light tanks, so people are going to say, so what are you doing in this one? Well, I do like to complete things. I'm a bit of a completionist, and British light tanks are currently top of the tree, and I wanted to make the most of that as I climb up the tree, which means that I don't have to get quite as much XP because I get the XP bonuses and use some blueprints from the battle pass and so on. So I do want to complete the tree, even if I'm not the biggest fan of light tanks overall. So what we're going to be looking at is the Tier 8 LHMTV. And if you saw my streams over the weekend, then you'll know that I've had a terrible time in this tank. I've been grinding it totally from stock, so no free XP was used. So why am I making this video? Well, I kind of wanted to show people who necessarily don't have the best skilled crew, maybe not that great at playing light tanks, but showing you maybe some things that can help, that started to help me maybe improve a little bit in terms of my light tank play. Now, in terms of the gameplay and the way I'm playing the tank right now, there's a few things to consider. One, top of the tree. The bonus experience is for spotting damage only. So I am only playing for spotting damage. That's not to say that I won't do any damage with the gun, but I certainly won't reveal my location to go and hunt somebody down, because I really am playing to get as much spotting damage as possible. So two, I've got a pretty poor skilled crew overall. So we were playing with 6 Sense on the Commander, a Snapshot and Smooth Ride. Again, not necessarily the best options, but Snapshot and Smooth Ride at least giving me some accuracy while shooting on the move, maybe. Full Brothers in Arms, which is good, and then we're currently training up the camo skill. So we're getting some benefit, but at the time the gameplay was done, we had about 40 to 50% of the camo skill. Like, ideally, I'd want full camo skills, absolutely. I'd love to have a ton of directives that would give me the camo skill as well. I am short on credits, filling up my directives with camo skill and everything else, premium consumables, isn't going to happen. So I am playing with a lower skilled crew than is ideal. I'm not playing with premium consumables other than fire extinguisher as normal. Now also, equipment wise, so I have no bounty or bond equipment. That's pretty common. I have now only achieved one piece of bounty equipment, which is a rammer for my leopard through the battle pass. So the equipment I'm using, and bearing in mind I'm playing purely for spotting, is I'm using a camo net. My camo skill is low, so the camo net's going to give me the bigger bonus, but it makes me static. But at the same time, I don't have any of the view range skills, so I really need the binoculars to maximize my view range. So I have to take one of these items, which makes me static. So if I have to be static for one, I might as well take the other and get the extra bonus. So that does give me stationary 45% camo, which is pretty nice. Let's face it, in a bush, that's pretty nice. And my view range up to 485. Now, to aid with the spotting damage, I've also gone for a Commander's Vision system. So the Commander's Vision system there, reducing concealment of enemy vehicles behind bushes, which is really good because that's both stationary and moving, and also minus concealment to moving enemy vehicles. Now, I also opted to put the Commander's Vision system in the bonus slot, and that's because I think it benefits more from the extra bonus than the other two items. So that's what we've got. That's the equipment. We're playing for pure spotting. We're playing very static. Yes, I'm not playing this as an active role, driving all around the battlefield. And still, I have struggled with that. How far do you push forward before you're spotted? At the beginning of the game, you instantly get killed, or do you find a nice location, but then you get rushed by an EBR or other lights? And then also that ability to move as the game progresses, because you can't always sit in one location. But it's thinking about where that position you want to be to provide the most optimal spotting in the game, making the benefits of whatever equipment and skills you have. And in my case, that's going to be spotting both range and with the commander's vision system while trying to stay as hidden as possible. Certainly one thing I have found with the British light tanks is they're not the best at dueling other light tanks, so I'm also trying to avoid this, and if I do fire, then I'm trying to do it firing from range where I won't be revealed. So that said, let's jump into the gameplay and see what happened. This was definitely a very good game for me in this tank, but it does illustrate what I'm trying to think about while I'm trying to grind this tank to tier 9, and at the same time, hopefully, my thoughts on how I was playing it and why I was playing it will help some others who are in a similar position, as in not expert light tank players, maybe got low skills in terms of the crew or the equipment. And you know, hopefully it will allow you to get yourself in the best position to do the most you can in that situation. So that's the main aim of this. Like I say, I'm not professing to be a light tank expert. And British light tanks, everyone keeps telling me that they are one of the hardest trees of lights to play is the British ones. So we are playing light tanks, but also on hard mode apparently. So it definitely felt like that, and definitely feels like that playing this tank. But let's jump into that gameplay, see what happened, and then we'll come back to the garage afterwards. Okay, so here we are. We are finding ourselves in a tier 9, tier 10 match. Only a few tier 10s, but I am noticing straight away that there is a tier 9 and 10 EBR on both teams, as well as an ELC, so I've got to be really wary here. My first thought where I am in this map is quite a small map overall. It's not the biggest of maps, as I want to get my view range to the most of the map as possible and see if I can spot anybody trying to cross into the dip early on. So I've managed to get across into this bush. It's not too far forward that I'm going to be spotted early on in the match, and using that commander's vision system and binoculars, I'm able to stay here, get spotting on tanks across the way, and seeing anybody that's rushing into the dip. So I'm looking at where our team are going, and I can see already that we're quite light in the village in the south, and I'm particularly concerned that we're going to lose that flank. But we are very strong up in the north, so I'm pretty confident that we can hold the hill and the warehouses to the north. So I'm trying to think about my location. I'm trying to think about where I'd go next, and right now I actually quite like the location I'm in. I'm spotting pretty much most of the terrain to the south of my team, with only a few of my teammates in the village who I can't really help at this moment, who are massively outnumbered and outgunned, and unfortunately are staying there in that location to be hurt pretty badly. Now there is a ton of tank destroyers to the north of me as well, so I want to make sure that I've got a good concealed location, and I'm inserting myself in between where I think the bulk of the enemy are going to come from and the tank destroyer support. So right now we're not getting much spotting, and nor do I expect to. We have the Lorraine still fighting in the town. We're starting to get a bit now, but we have the Lorraine fighting in the town. There's also the SU-130 there as well. Now there's an EBR running around, and the EBR worries me the most because they won't run around and they could quite easily just run over me in this location. So when they're getting close, there's an element to how long do you stay. So it's kind of that experience and judgment. Like this EBR here, he could quite easily, and he's turning towards me, and I'm worried he's just going to come right over to where I am and reveal me. And he's sort of coming this way. Is he going to get close enough? But I'm trying to hold my nerve, not run, and also not shoot at him, because both would reveal my location. And fortunately, the EBR does not spot me. So we are looking at the game so far, and we're noticing that we're 3 tanks down to the enemy's 1. It's not unwinnable, but it's not looking great. We are still trying to provide that spotting in the mid, aware of the terrain. You know, you can't spot everybody in the dip in the middle, but you can certainly, if they pop up at all, you'll spot them. And also trying to keep spotting anyone that's now coming with reinforcements through the village in the south. And the SU-130, who held that location, which I think was quite far forward for a tank with that armour, has now fallen. And now, in terms of my location, and the reason I stayed here was because I am now the furthest south of my team and I can provide the best spotting. I'm in the middle of a number of bushes, so I do have some pretty good concealment. And there we go. We're starting now to get some more spotting damage. We're up to 1,500 spotting. Now I'm focused on the areas of the village right in the south. That's where I think most of the enemy are going to come from. But the other advantage of this location right now is I'm close enough to the warehouse to spot any enemy tanks that are going to come round the flank of the E75 that's there. Now the S1 has been spotted, and there we are getting full spotting on the S1. He's taken a huge hit, and I think he's going to hide behind the buildings. We'll see how long he stays there, but he's making another move again. I think he thinks he's unspotted. He's not. We see him the whole way through, and we just need somebody to finish him off. And oh, he's left on 24 hit points, and he does make it out, and he survives on those 24 hit points. And we are continuing to lose tanks. It is now 8-3, and we're down 3,000 hit points. 122 does get the leopard back, but it's not looking very good for us in our team. But again, I want to hold this location. I'm trying to think what benefit right now is there for me to move. Let's keep spotting the guys coming through the village. We've now got a spotting on the EBR, so a combination of myself and the Scorpion. And we'll see actually in terms of, there you go, so the EBR is killed and I get the full spotting damage. So I was the one that revealed that EBR. So we were close enough to the back to stop them sneaking down the bush line, and that EBR is gone. So again, I think I'm trying to think of the positioning. You might look at it and go, oh, you're really lucky you're sat in one position. But at the moment, for the way the battle has developed, I'm trying to think of where I would go next. And I think this is actually a really good location. Is there benefit for me to going around and flanking anybody? There's no artillery for me to go and hunt down and take out either. So actually staying in this location, spotting the 53 TP, we've now also spotted a Jagdpanzer E100. So that is the last enemy tier 10 tank in the game, and actually the location I'm in now has enabled full spotting of that Jagdpanzer E100, who is wildly out in the open and is now starting to take an awful lot of punishment. So he's weaving his way across the battlefield there, interestingly with his side armor completely exposed to the tank destroyers, and they are getting some hits into him. And I was at first wondering if he was going to try and run over me, but he's actually now pointed his armor to where he thinks the fire is coming from, and is now getting hit by our Scorpion. And there we go, the Jagdpanzer E100 is absolutely vaporized, and this game has completely turned on its head. And I am certain, and the reason I've put this gameplay up is I'm certain that the positioning here was key to helping the Scorpion and the likes of the FV4005 remain concealed, because I was spotting for them. And I think that's evident. We've got 3,000, nearly 3,200 spotting, which is not a small amount. We're still spotting the 53 TP, which is another reason why I haven't moved at this point. 53 TP there, still being spotted in the mid. 3 enemy tanks left, and at this point I'm thinking, is there any value in staying here? Probably not, but I want to see how the battle develops. The Emil, the T54 Mod 1, yes, I could go and challenge the 53 TP, but taking him on solo might not be the best idea. So the T54 Mod 1 is gone down. Now the T54 Mod 1 has gone down, I need to make sure the 53 TP can be seen at all times. So now I'm moving down. I'm moving down to make sure that my team can see the 53 TP for the whole time and then finish him off. I've got him on auto aim because that's just going to help me with some of that aiming, and the 53 TP does get a shot into me, but we do hit him on the move. When we come back round and we close the distance, unfortunately we didn't pen him, and he is killed. So we finished the game 3,300 combined. Not the most crazy, the best game ever in a light tank for sure, but those are some of the thoughts that are going through my mind while playing the light tanks, is just in terms of I'm playing for spotting. I don't have the best crew skills or equipment. Where can I have the best impact? And the impact there is how much of the battlefield is visible through my range rings, as opposed to being sat in a corner or on the edge of the map where actually only half of your vision is actually being used. The more in the middle I can be, the more vision I'm providing in a 360-degree arc. Let's jump back to the garage. We are the LHMTV British Tier 8 light tank. As I said, that was a good game for me. It's probably an average game or above average game for many, and I just hope that my thoughts might help a few of you out that are also struggling with light tanks like me. As I said, I am a terrible light tank player, but I'm trying to get better. The British light tanks are pretty hard, but also I'm playing for spotting for top of the tree, so you might also be doing the same while it is top of the tree. Like I say, hopefully that helped you all out. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why. If any support you're able to give on either our YouTube channel, Facebook Gaming or Twitch, if you like our content, please like, subscribe and follow. It does help us out enormously. It's free for you as well. And that's it from Attribution Gaming, and we'll see you on the battlefield.